What's up guys, Andre here, and today I'd like to build out this custom radio button interface using Tailwind CSS. So this is a tweet by Steve Shoger, who if you're not already following, you definitely should. Steve posts the hottest design tips, which are not only awesome, but very actionable as well. So this one's a real eye-opener for me because I would always style my radio buttons like this, maybe try to style around it to make it look decent. But I never thought to break it out into this card-like interface. As you can see, cards allow you to be more creative with active and hover states, and the extra space allows you to emphasize more important content. So let's go ahead and build this in Tailwind, and then after that, let's try to make it interactive with View. Here's the finished product that I've already built out, and we will get to this point starting from scratch. As you can see, there are hover states and there are focus states as well. So yeah, we will accomplish this from scratch. So all I have here is a Vue CLI 3 application, and all I've done is install Tailwind. If you don't know how to use Tailwind within a Vue CLI 3 application, I actually just made a video on that as well, which I will link to. Okay, so let's get started here. I would like to start with this top part over here. So let's go ahead and start with, actually let's start with the background and the font stack. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to put it here for like the entire encapsulating div. So I'm going to start with minimum height, just so it spans the whole vertical space of the screen. I'm going to give it a background of gray light, and the font stack I'm going to use is just the default font stack. And I'm going to get rid of all of this CSS here. Okay. And now let's go ahead and start with this up here. Okay. So let me get rid of these two. Sorry, there's a typo here. Should be light. That should have changed the color. There we go. And sorry, I keep going back to this. We're going to use Flexbox for this and have two flex items and justify content space between. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's make another div. Let's give it a class of, I'm going to make a custom width here because the default widths don't have what I want. So I'm going to name it width custom, and we will define that in a second. Center it. Let's give it some padding top, 8. Let's some padding bottom of 6. Let's make a flex. Justify between items and, so they are aligned on the bottom. Let's give it a border bottom of 2 and a border of gray. And then the first flex item is going to be this change plan over here. So class equals, let's make it text 2XL. The color, you can't really see it, but it's a dark blue. So I'm just going to use the text blue darker is the closest one I could find. Let's give it a margin. Actually, no margin. Okay. And to change plan. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, it looks decent. And let's put in the other flex item, which is going to be a div, and it's going to be a link. And let's give it a class of no underline, text blue darker, and hover, we want underline. And let's say cancel your plan. Okay. So now let's make that width custom. So in our Tailwind config, let's go ahead and find widths. Where's the widths here? Here. And I'm going to make a value here called custom. And let's set it to 56 rems. And then that should do it. There we go. Now it's centered. And that is the width I would like. Okay, now let's make a component to house the plans here. So let's go ahead and go back into our code. Let's make a new component here called, let's call it selectable plan dot view. Let's just make a template here. Just put a div. Plans go here. Just import that in here. So just duplicate this. Actually, yeah, we're not using this, so we'll just use this one. Selectable plan. Don't need this one. Should be selectable. And let's see. Let's put that in there actually. So right after this, let's do selectable plan and see if that works. It does not. What's wrong? Selectable plan is not defined. Oops. Selectable plan. Cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started on the plans. Let's take a look here. All right, let's start with the container, similar to what we did here. Okay, selectable plan. And let's give this a class of with custom mx auto py8. Let's make it flexbox as well. Let's justify between, and it's also flex wrap. So that's going to be the container. Let's go ahead and see if this works. Okay, so that looks decent. So let's start working on the cards here. So it's going to be 4 flex items or however many plans you want. And because I flexed wrap it, it should be on, if there's more than 4, then it should go on the next line. So let's go ahead and start that. So I have a div with width 48. I'm not sure if this is defined in Tailwind. I'm not sure if it's custom. Nope, it is in there, so we can use that. And then BG white, it's rounded corners, large. There's a shadow on it of medium, padding of 6. Let's give it a hover of cursor pointer. And let's give it a margin bottom of 8. All right, let's see how this looks. Let's put some text in here. So that's looking pretty good. See if the cursor hover works. It does not. Hover cursor pointer. So I might have to turn on that variation here, sorry. So yeah, I have to turn on hover for cursor. So let's add hover here and then save that. And then hopefully this should work now. Let me refresh this. So it's not working because I have a typo. I'm on a roll with typos today. Okay, there you go. Now you can see my cursor changes to pointer. Cool. Okay, now let's take a look at what's next. So this title is next, but as you can see, when it's selected, we have this. So we want another flex container, and we can justify between this and the icon. So let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, I'm going to work on this one. And when we do view, we can just toggle on and off the icon. So within here, let's go ahead and erase this. Let's make another flex container, .flex. So we are going to justify between. We're going to item center. And let's give it a margin bottom. And let's make it an H1. You can use whatever you like. Try to keep it semantic. It's uppercase. Let's set it to the normal size, the baseline size. Let's make the tracking a bit wider. And let's make it text blue darker. So this is the plan name, hobby. See how that looks. Okay, it looks decent. And let's put in a container for a flex item for the SVG, which I am just going to paste in. So it's going to paste that in. I've added a class of width 6 and height 6 because the original SVG is too big. So let's go ahead and see if, yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, what is next? Next is this gigabyte section. So let's go ahead and do that. So this one closes that, okay. So let's start a new section here. Let's give a margin bottom, small margin bottom. Let's make it semi-bold. Let's make it text blue darker. Oops. And since they are sort of different sizes, I'm going to split them up into spans so I can target them differently. So one span for the 1 and another span for the GB. So I'm going to give this one a class of text 5XL and a margin right of 2. And then this one, I'm going to give text 2XL. And let's see how that looks. It's looking pretty good. All right, what's next? Next is this price per month. Let's go ahead and work on that. Let's make a new div here. And so like I did here, I'm going to split this out. Actually don't need classes on the parent container, so I'm just remove that. But, so I split it out into 3. So I have the $sign because that's a slightly different color than this. And then I have spans for these two as well. So there's actually 3 spans. Let's go ahead and do that. Sorry, there's 4 spans, I mean, 1 for each section. So the $sign, the actual value, the slash, and the month. Let's go ahead and, I should have put the class in there before I did that. So class equals, and let's do that 4 times. Okay, so the first one is text XL, text blue. I have another custom blue style called a text blue alternate. It's just a lighter blue, which let me put that in right now. Let's go to Tailwind JS. And let's look for the blues. And let's make a new one here for blue alternate. And I'm going to give it a value of 366A8F. Okay, save that. Go back into here. And let's continue. So this is just the $sign. The next one is class of text XL, font semi-bold, text blue darker, and this is the price. The next one is text blue alternate. Let's give it a margin on the left and the right, and this is just the slash. And then the last one is text LG, text blue alternate, and this one is just the month. So let's go ahead and see how that looks. There you go, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead and style it like the selected component here. So actually, let's style it with the hover state first. So back up here, let's give it a hover of BG green lightest. And let's see if that works. Oops, doesn't go there. It goes here. Okay, that's good. And let's also make it focusable. So right now, if you click on it, it's not focusable. So to do that, we have to add a tab index here. So it will be in the flow of the HTML. So tab index of 0. See if that, you see that blue outline means it's focused. But that's kind of ugly. So let's make our own style for it. So first of all, let's get rid of that. So we can do focus outline none, and that should get rid of it. Okay, and let's make another one, but this is custom as well. So focus, we're going to use a shadow outline instead of a border, because if we use a border, then it's going to change the size of the content inside. Like the overall width of this is going to stay the same, but since that stays the same, then the content of the inside is going to shrink a bit. And when you hover over it, you'll see that change. So we don't want that. We actually just want an outline which changes the width slightly, but that is the effect we want. So let's go ahead and make this custom focus class, which we will define shadow outline green. Let me just save that. So if we go back into our Tailwind config, and if we go into shadows, then here is where we can specify that custom outline class. I'm just going to paste it in, and you have to use RGBA here. So I just converted the hex value to RGBA. It should be RGBA or RGB. Yeah, RGBA. So there's the color. And now this should be focused with that nice color. Cool. So now I'm just going to paste in the other three and add in their specific content, and we'll hardcode one to be selected. So yeah, that one will have a light green background by default. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into here. And yeah, so let's just repeat this 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. So just to show you that flex wrap works. There you go. It just wraps to the next line. Cool. Let me just take that one out so it looks nice. And I'm just going to edit this content, so you don't have to watch me do that. Okay, so I added all the plans in here with their correct content. And now I just want to make this one selected by default, just like this. So let's go ahead and do that. So that one is the growth plan. Let's go to growth. And all we have to do here is we can leave the hover and the focused, but we just need to add these classes as well. So right here, add that one and the shadow outline green as well. So that, let's do that. And that one should be selected. Cool. And just to show you that you can actually tab through these, so it's somewhat keyboard accessible. So if I tab, 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 you can press Shift Tab to go back. And in the next video where we use view, we'll make sure we can hit space and then that one is selected. Okay, let's quickly make this responsive. So here's what I'm going to do. So here where we set the width, I'm just going to set a breakpoint on that. And also for these flex properties. So here, here, and the flex wrap. And I believe that should make them stack below the medium breakpoint. So let's go ahead and try that. Okay, so it does. Cool. And let's do the same for this change plan section. So back into app. So here, medium, and medium, and medium. Okay. Cool, and we can give this change plan a margin bottom. So in medium and above, margin bottom 0. But before that, let's give it a 4 or something. Okay. And yeah, I don't really want to spend too much time on it being responsive. So you can go ahead and tweak this if you like, but I'm happy with just this one breakpoint. Cool. So there you have it, guys. We managed to build out this custom radio button interface in Tailwind CSS. So in the next video, we'll take a look at making this interactive using Vue. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.